Welcome back for our second Rhino video. What I'm going to do here is talk about some basic modeling techniques. So, and I also wanted to mention that the way that you pan in here is just clicking the right mouse button and dragging, and that lets me pan each view. And if I want to pan in 3D, I shift right click. So shift and right click. So I'm going to go to the front view, and I'm going to draw some table legs. And I'm going to start by going to Curve, Line, and I could do line segments, but I actually want to do single line. I'll talk about that in a second. Right now, Snap is on. That's on by default. You can turn it on or off. I'm going to have it on for now. I'm going to click here. Then I'm going to go up here. And so it's going to draw me a line, basically. And I'm going to hit, I can be facing any direction when I do this, 1/6 inches, and then hit Enter. And that's because I'm guessing, I haven't looked at the assignment sheet recently enough to know the height of the table seat, or of the chair seat, but I'm going to say 16 inches is about right, but you'll want to reference the drawings. But so it's going to let me, you can see the white portion is the portion that is not going to exist once I click. That little star and the black portion is the extent of the line. The star represents the end of the line at 16 inches, so you can kind of see how that works. So I'm going to hold down Shift, and you'll notice it immediately snaps to a straight line. So I'm going to click, and there I have my 16-inch long straight line. So now what I do is I want to repeat the command, and this is the reason that I did just a single line, so I could give you a shortcut on repeating the last command, and that is right-click. So all I have to do is right-click, and I repeat the last command. And right now I could get to the end of this line pretty accurately with Snap, because I'm actually at a grid line right there. I want to maximize this view by double-clicking on front. There we go. So that should be a bit easier to see. So, but if Snap was off, then I'm kind of floating around. It's not snapping to anything. But because Object Snap is on and End is on, it's going to snap to the end of lines. So snap there. See, I can even go a ways away, and it still snaps to the end of that line. If I turned off End, it snaps as an intersection. Let's see. Let's turn off Object Snap just altogether. Disable. There we go. So they see there, it was snapping for some reason. I think it was snapping because S-Track was on, which is Snap Track. It's kind of like Object Track in AutoCAD, but I'm not going to talk about it now, but that's why it was snapping even though End was off. But you would have noticed that maybe it wasn't saying End. But anyway, now that I hit Disable, you can see there's no way to know really where I'm going to be once I disable Object Track and Object Snap and Grid Snap. So I'm going to enable this again. And I'm going to enable End. And it's good practice to disable, in general, other stuff that you're not using right then. You don't have to be, fanatical about it or anything. But so it says End, so I hit that. And I'm just going to hold down, well, let's say, what's a good measurement? Maybe 13 inches. And then I'll hit Enter. And then I'll hold down Shift, and I will click. Now I'll right-click again to repeat the last command, and I will click. And you'll notice that if right here it's not really snapping to anything, and I could hit 18 inches. But here's where Snap Track comes in. If I go down here and blah blah blah, it's not really doing anything. But if I go over here and say, hello, here I am, and then I go over here, let's see. Then I go over here, staying somewhat in line. Then you get that intersection. INT stands for intersection. If you can't read that, it says INT. And so that's what Snap Track does. That's this thing down here. So it says, hello, hello, hello. There we go. And there we are. So intersection. So now we have like this basic outline of our legs. And that is all well and good, except it doesn't look anything like what they should look like. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I need to smooth this off. And by the end of this video, you may have to watch this video twice, but by the end you'll see where I'm going. Then you'll probably want to start it over again and fast forward to the parts that are pertinent. And so what I want to do is I want a smooth portion here and a smooth portion here, because this is going to be sort of the path that the legs are extruded along. So the way you do that is with the fillet command, and it's probably up here under, oh, I don't know where it would be. Curve edit tools, somewhere under here. But I tell you, the easiest way to do this is just to type in fillet, F-I-L-L, and see it even completes the command for you. We just want fillet, we don't want anything else. Those are for solids and surfaces. So we just want plain old fillet. And then you see radius is 3. That's correct, but if it doesn't say that on yours, you just have to click it and then enter 3. And there you go. And you can click any of these command options. Or you can type in R. You see how R is underlined? You could just hit R. And that gives you radius 3. And so the way fillet works is that it says select curves to fillet. So here's this. Here's this. Then right click repeats the command. Here's this. Here's this. Now we've got our path, and for reasons that will become clear in a second, you'll want to join these, because right now they're not one path for a shape to be extruded along. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. So here's a little trick. If you say join, just type in join. You can't drag a box. I'm clicking and dragging, I'm not getting a box. And it's kind of a pain in the neck to click all these. And it would work, but I'm going to hit escape. But if you select everything beforehand and you type in join, it says 5 curves joined into one open curve. So, excellent. We didn't have to click, click, click. It's not a big deal with 5 things, but with 30 things, it could be a big deal. So, and if you miss one, you're going to start freaking out. So, I'm going to go from the front view. So now this is our path. We're looking at the front of the chair. I'm going to go from the front view to the top view. And it's hard to see, but there's our curves. So we're looking at them top down. So what we want is we want table legs, or chair legs. And so I'm going to go in here to curve, and circle, center radius. You could do 2 points, that would work, whatever. Center radius works for us for now. So, and make sure that snap to the grid is off. And notice, isn't that nice? It switches, you just have to hover over, and it switches which viewport you're working in. So here's we're working in the front, but we want the top. And it says enter radius or diameter, but radius is the default. So radius of 0.4 inches would probably work pretty well. We'll see if it works. I don't know, maybe that's big. So here's a really cool command, and you're going to be using this a lot. And it is called sweep one rail. Basically what it does is it says, hey, here's this shape, here's this shape. Let's take this shape and extrude it along this shape. And it's under, let's see, where is it under? It is under, where's sweep one rail? Sweep one rail. It's under surface, sorry. It's under surface. I was trying to remember if it was a solid or a surface. It's kind of a little bit of both, because you can actually turn it into a solid by capping the ends. You'll see in it, you may or may not see in this video, depending on time, but for now we'll call it a surface. It's sweep one rail. There we go. And so it says select rail. Well, the rail is also, could be called the path. And so we'll just say this is the path, because we want it to go whoop along here. So I'll click that. And now it says select cross-sectional curves. And basically that means the profile, the shape to be extruded. And so that's that. And then it says press enter when done. You can also just right-click. And then this is a whole bunch of options. Do not simplify, rebuild with fewer control points. We're not going to talk about that yet. But suffice it to say that there are different things that you can mess with here. They can have different effects. You can hit the preview button to have these different things show up. Maybe we could rebuild with 2 control points, and let's see, preview. Yeah, it gets to be a slightly different shape, but it's not that big of a deal on this one. So we'll just say OK with the default. Do not simplify. OK. And I'm going to right click here and go to rendered. And you can see there we have our basic table leg. So soon, either in class or in another video, we will talk about rotating these and changing their angle, mirroring them, and turning them into the 4 legs of a chair.